If it ain't gold, it ain't good enough. 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 Hilo, iglesia. It's time to go for gold. Hilo, iglesia. It's time to go for gold. Go for
Woke up today, smile on my face, may not go my way, still got my faith, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay, I'll be okay. Running our race, just that I pace. Made some mistakes, but learned a few things, so I'll be okay.
It's that time of the week again. You've locked into Absolute Juice. With some of the craziest moments, awesome life stories, and that real talk, this is the Vibe O'Clock. Yep, that's right, the Vibe O'Clock. Brought to you by the VYG. If it ain't gold, it ain't good enough. Start it right now. It's the Vibe O'Clock.
Woke up today, smile on my face, may not go my way, still got my faith, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay, I'll be okay. Running our race, just that I pace. Made some mistakes, but learned a few things.
It's the Vibe O'Clock. It's the Vibe O'Clock.
Okay. We're good to go. We are good to go. What's up? What's good, fam? I hope you guys are all doing good this Saturday evening. It is your weekend dose of the Vibe O'Clock, and it's good to be here with you guys. We're going to be speaking about the mood switch. And what does this have to do with you? What does this have to do with me? What is this all about? What is this mood switch all about? And I like how our designer puts the moodometer, if you want to call it, with the angry, the really, really, really mad. The red one's like he's really mad. And then there's the one who's like plus minus. And then the one who's like kind of mad, like kind of super mad. And then the one who's just indifferent. And then the one who's happy. And the one who's like super excited. So it is intriguing. I'm wondering, you guys are saying I'm muted. I'm getting sound here, guys. I don't know. I'm getting sound. I'm showing sound. It's showing sound. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm sure you guys were hearing like before that, like with the medometer, because I mean it's showing me waves here that everything is okay. So today's Vibe O'Clock will be speaking about this, and I'm hoping not to offend anybody, because that's never our idea to offend anybody, but I promise you it's going to spark some reactions. I'm pretty sure it's going to spark some reactions when we address the subject. Guys, I'm getting too many messages of the no sound. Please, fam, like it's too many on Telegram. I'll check it from the comment section here. I know the comment section is the one who will definitely not give me chill if I mess up with the sound here. So I think it's fine now. It should be fine. And I'm happy. Thank you so much. It's because sometimes your guys's reactions or comments will come delayed to me here. So that's why sometimes it takes a bit of time. But anyways, this is what we're going to be addressing today. I'm not going to be taking that much time with other stuff. We also have two guests who will be joining us today. We've got Untsikelelo, who'll be talking a little bit about his career, and we've got Angela, who's also going to be talking. I did not get a chance to read or see what our producer has laid out for us for today's program at all. I didn't get a chance to check it out, but I am going to see it in a few. But I do know that today we're going to be speaking a lot about the career, and we are going to speak about the moodometer, which I repeat might put some people off, but I am looking forward to it. And on that note, I also want to remind you guys, I'm sorry my stuff here is pretty diamakar, as we call it, and I really want to get this out the way. Let me go to the thingy here. We are live, so I want to emphasize, and today the emphasis is going to be a little more than the usual, of this amazing event, upcoming event, as a matter of fact, a week's time, which we're going to be having the VYG Career Expo. Now, last year we had this expo, which was for the first time we hosted something of this magnitude, something like this, as a matter of fact. Now this year, this year, I feel like if you really want to escape the true, genuine FOMO, I suggest you don't miss this year's one. I don't know if you guys attended last year. I don't know where you guys were attending. Sorry for looking this way, fam. I'm just getting the poster ready here because I can't find the correct dimension, the 16 by 9. Everything is doing its own thing here today. So I'm looking for the right thing here for us to be able to share it with you. But as I'm looking for it, or maybe we will get it somewhere during the thingy, during the program. Hold up. Almost there. Almost there. Last year's one was really amazing. I loved it so much. Everything about it was really special. But now, this year's one, the fam is promising something bigger, something huge. And this is one of the reasons why we are going to be addressing career today, why we're going to be speaking a lot about career, because, wow, fam, what we had last year and how everything was run, how everything took place last year was completely awesome. But if you think what was done in last year's mega hangout, in last year's Career Expo was big, the one of this year, you have no idea what's about to happen. And I'm really looking forward to it. And the team is working crazy around the clock for so many different things, so many different companies. Some of them have approached us asking to be part of this career. And I hope that it will be on the same level across Mzansi, because this year we are indeed going for gold. This is the vision of the VYG, to go for gold. And we are doing it here at the grounds next week, Saturday. I'm going to say to you, if you want, you're more than welcome anywhere around Mzansi to join us. You're more than welcome to come and join us here in Jozi, because ironically, Egoli, it's going to be gold. So prepare yourselves, because next week, Saturday, we're going to be speaking more about this across or throughout this program. But whilst we're at it, I am going to invite Ntsigelelo, who is going to speak a little bit about his career. I'm putting Ntsigelelo now on screen. I'm expecting someone who knows how to speak better than most of us. I'm expecting that radio voice, because that's exactly what his career is all about. Ntsigelelo, how are you doing, my brother?
Good evening, PJ, and good evening also to the VYG fam. I unfortunately do not have a radio voice, but I can speak just, yeah, it did bit well. But yeah, yes, it's nice to be here, and yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your career. And now that you are telling us that you do not have the radio voice, what is needed for somebody to get onto the radio?
So, I work at 947. I produce the 947 Drive with Tando. And I also work at 702 while also working at Cape Talk. So in total, I work for 3 different stations, one in Cape Town and 2 here in Joburg. All of them are owned by the same media company, which is Prime Media Broadcasting. And yeah, so I work as a freelancer with them. And I started my career at Voice of Wits during my campus day at Wits University a few years back. And in my interview, to get into the campus radio, I think that question around why do you want to be on the radio came about. And the first thing I'd say, of course, is that, people have complimented me saying that I have a radio voice. And the interviewer, the person that I was sitting across, Shreshe Koo, said to me that a radio voice doesn't exist
Hmm.
because it's not the voice that carries the content. It's the person, it's the personality. So it's how you relay your ideas, it's how you talk to the people, it's how you engage with the people that matters more than the voice. If only the voice mattered, then we would have had, so many radio people without personality. The radio would not be as much interesting as it is. It would not be a conduit for conversation. It would just be people just, speaking deeply, just about their day. So, as I say, the radio voice is not something that matters. If you have a deep voice and you want to try radio, do not make the deep voice the whole idea around you being on radio. That's
Very,
basically what
very.
I'm saying.
It's interesting, because most of us think you need to have that bass in your voice and all of that stuff for you to be able to get on radio. Now tell me, where did this all begin? You said that you started on the Wits campus radio. Tell us a little bit about how it began. Was this something you always wanted to do? How did this pan out?
So I have the privilege of having parents who have always loved the radio, such that at home we still have a radio box, like the appliance, a radio that you plug into. So
I think
even
you need
from
to
a young age,
explain to AMA 2Ks, especially the mid to late AMA 2Ks, what a radio box is. They might be, ah, utinlo.
so if you go into your emojis, there's and you say radio, you'll find the stereo. So it was a box like that. Yeah, they still have it here at home. So we had multiple. Whenever one dies, my uncle makes sure that he buys another one. And if my uncle maybe is not able to, my mom will definitely buy one. And I think I'm now roped into the cycle because now I work in the space, so even if this one dies, it's my responsibility to buy a radio box. So I started listening to the radio because of that. Every day in the morning, Ukhozi FM, if not Ukhozi Mutsweding or Lisedi. These are like your traditional PBS stations. The PBS is public broadcasting services. So this would be, your SABC, most of the SABC stations, especially the more vernacular or more traditional ones. And then they do have a few commercial ones like 5FM, Metro, Radio 2000. Those are where the money comes in. But the rest of the stations, there's not a lot of money coming in. It's the government being able to, yeah, provide broadcasting services as opposed to people. So yeah, I used to be able to listen to the radio like that. And I think because also throughout my high school journey, I was a debater from primary school. I was a debater and a public speaker. And going into high school, going into university, that's how I also, would meet the voice of vets, through our debate platforms rather. And so one of the compliments you get throughout first year, and just how you present and how we're doing presentations for school, and people are like, oh, Tsugelelo can speak very well. Tsugelelo, can present very well. I think you should do radio. Do you know there's a campus station that you could go to? It's called VAO. So I thought to myself, let me go. This was first year 2019. And then I tried to look for the campus station, and then I couldn't find it on campus. Then forgot about it. I think about 2 years later, in 2021, that's where I would find online via Instagram that the station was holding auditions, and I entered for the online auditions. But in my process to audition, also I also would DM, people who have been rather on VOW, and people who have now moved on from VOW to other platforms. So at the time, I messaged Noni Kumalo, who had been on VOW and was still, I think, in her last year at VOW, and she was now at 947, part of the M Squad. So I DM'd her, and then I told her that I'm auditioning and I was asking for advice. Who do I talk to? Because I also see that she was still part of VOW. So she gave me the understanding that sometimes for presenters, it becomes very difficult to audition and be accepted. You need to be a cut above the rest, right? Because it's highly competitive. Everyone who meets the radio platform thinks only of being, a presenter. But if you can go to the station and say to them, you're willing to do any other thing, you can also produce radio, then that's also an avenue. That's like a foot in to the space. And so seeing that I'm not making it through the audition process, that's how I printed my CV, and then I went to the physical offices of the station. It was a Wednesday when I went, and I was called for an interview that same week on Friday. Then I came and I interviewed, and then they said to me after the interview that I can start that very same day, just shadow the team that's on air, and then I would, continue then working and producing for a particular show. I think it was the lunch show at the time. So that's how I.
Okay, intriguing. When you were younger, like way younger, is this what you were looking forward to doing, or what was your plan?
No, definitely not. So radio was not even one of the things that I thought of doing. I think because of speaking engagements and debate, I thought maybe I'd be a lawyer. I thought maybe throughout also my high school, because I was very good at physics and maths, and I thought maybe I'd do engineering or I'd do town planning. So town planning was also something that I came to love towards the end of my high school. So that's what I studied at WITS. I studied a BSc in urban and regional planning. And so, yeah, that's what I thought would be of my career. I did not plan on the radio. I did not think about it. It just so happened.
I hear you. I hear you. Now, please explain for those who don't understand when you said before you actually went in as a presenter, you went in as a programmer. Is that right?
Yeah, so a producer, so a content
Producer,
producer.
excuse me. Okay, please explain to us how do you go about reaching that? How do you go about managing to become a radio producer, and what exactly does that entail? What is your job in that specific department?
So at the time, so when I had just gotten the job to be a content producer, I also didn't have any real idea of what a content producer was. And so when I was shadowing the team, so they would just explain, that basically it's just, coming up with ideas, brainstorming ideas on what we talk about on the radio, maybe even some of the guests that we'd have. So this would be, also some of the features that we would have on the show, series that we'd be doing, and it was very simplistic. But coming into it, the explanation was very simplistic, because I think just from the simple explanation, you kind of get the idea and you think, so it's not that difficult, So when you actually have to do it, it's a process of a lot of collaboration, and sometimes a lot of disapprovals, because you come up with a content piece, you find out that we cannot have it because it's very similar to one that another station just had, or it's very similar to a conversation that another show just had. So now you have to look into what other people have talked about, the relevance of what you are talking about. So basically, what we do at large as content producers is to source, ideate, generate content for the show. This would be in the format of phoners or talkers that we would have, so conversations that we would have. So you find at a radio station they're talking about the first time maybe you got a job, what did you do with your pay? So someone came up with a conversation like that. So that person would primarily be a content producer, but not limited to it. So the team works collaboratively. So the presenters and all other aspects of the team, other members of the team, they work collaboratively around that. So organizing guests for the show, making sure that there's enough research into what we're talking about. So this would be just now, I think it was yesterday, or actually Thursday night, we had a conversation on the Opri Masango show around what the Deputy Minister, Njabulo Nzuza, had come to say about Zimbabwean ZEP holders and Lesotho LEP holders, people who had exemption passes to work in South Africa. So the minister had come to say that they could now get away for permanent residency in the country. So now we have to make sure that all of that information we have and it's true, just based on what he has said, but also to get in experts, people who are, specialists in immigration law, here in South Africa, who could also speak to whether or not it is true what the minister was saying. But so this is basically what we do. So you come up with ideas for conversation. It needs to be topical. It needs to be something that's relevant. But outside of it being topical, it needs to be something that's worth speaking about. Because sometimes some news days differ from others. So sometimes there's a lot of news, there's a lot of things to talk about. Sometimes there's very little to talk about. So you need to find something that's worth talking about. So it's maybe things that people are concerned about online or in whatever way. So basically, as content producers, that's what we do.
Awesome. Someone is asking here that since you are a producer, how do we go about getting the VYG Go for Gold song on radio?
So, as a content producer, I mainly deal with the content of the show. So that's not particularly a department that I would be working, on. But we do have music compilers. So generally, in terms of how one submits their music, um, would have to write an email to them with a copy of your music, but also you have to be registered with Rika, you have to be registered with Sampra, you have to be registered with all of these other bodies to make sure that when we do play your music on the you do get your royalties, because radio stations pay money to play people's music. So yeah, so your Sampras and every other body then would be able to pay you as the artist for the songs that your songs that are being played on the radio and also on TV. So
Okay.
there's that. You write an email, but you also have to attach all of your registration information throughout these other bodies. and then yeah, then it might be considered.
Okay, I've got another question here which reads, so what if you are in matric? Do you have to study for it, and what is the course?
So a lot of content producers that I work with, and they have not really studied anything related to content production. These are people who are, from a film background. Some people are from journalism. So journalism is a great advantage, especially in the space, because it does allow you to do more. So if you want to do more than just being a content producer, it does allow you the range to be able to do more. But you're not limited, by anything. You could come in, to be a content producer. I think the most important thing here is the skill. So it's the adaptiveness and fast thinking, because sometimes a guest drops you right as you're about to have the interview. Next thing you try to phone them, they're not picking up. You need to be someone that, someone who is fast, someone who can think of what other conversation could we have right at this moment and who could we talk to right at this moment. So even if you have to move guests around on the show to make sure that you still bring in that conversation, you need to be a fast thinker. And if you're not, it will show in terms of the quality of the show, because when you're supposed to have guests, when you're supposed to have people, now your presenter is panicking on air. Oh, now we're gonna come back and stuff. Now they're having to find things to say to fill the air. So yeah, there's that.
I find it an interesting way you say this, because there was a presenter specifically in one of the radios you're linked to, who had a politician, a very known politician, who was late for her show, and ironically, she mentioned it on air that she was late. Well, why she was late, that's not our business. But what do you do in those cases? Do you just play music? How do you work around that?
So it depends on the station that you're with. So currently I produce for two talk stations, which means that we don't really play a lot of music. And then I produce for 947, which does play music. So with 947, the advantage is you can play music. So whenever there's an
Yes.
incident, you can play music. So sometimes there's content pieces that are not very strong. So you realize that there's not a lot of interaction, and you're like, actually, let's just ditch this. We'll just play music, and then we'll come back, maybe do traffic or do whatever, and then yeah, we'll carry on with the show. But with stations like 702 and Cape Talk, you have to really find another conversation, or take a conversation that was supposed to happen later and bring it on earlier, because yeah, people are late sometimes, or sometimes people forget, or some people have their phone on do not disturb or on flight mode sometimes. I remember this one time on 702, I was producing the 702 drive, and we had to have the acting police minister Firoz Kachalia on the show. It was when he had just been announced as the acting police minister, and he had his phone on flight mode, so we couldn't get a hold of him. So
Oh no.
we had to bring in a conversation from later on in the show and have it earlier, so that we could have the acting minister a bit later then.
Tell me, is there any situation you can share with us which you could say was insane, like something crazy, which is not compromising, but which happened on air and nobody figured out that there was something wrong, but you just had to past that situation and improvise?
So so there's a lot of these moments. I am trying to think of one rather at the top of my head. I think sometimes nature comes in. So you are in the studio, and then you now have to pee, and you're the presenter, and it happens. So one time, I think it was shortly after the news, so they had to go, and then they didn't return in time. So now we have to keep on, trying to find voice notes or trying to find ads that we can play. So ads are timed, so it's very difficult to play ads. So you have to find or manufacture voice notes. So if there's not enough voice notes, some of us in the production team would be asked to, come in, send a voice note now on this topic so that we can just send it and then they play and then we wait, especially on send note two.
That time we're thinking it's a proper listener, it's one of us and stuck in traffic, and it's not even us, it's one of you guys there. This is really interesting. And Tsiki, because we don't have that much time, I'm going to just ask you the last question I have here, which is from Tando. I find it as well an important question to ask. Um, how do you guys in radio stay relevant, especially in the world that has been shifting towards social media?
This is something that I actually wrote about. I think it was last year. I published an opinion piece on the Mail and Garden around how to sustain radio for the next 100 years, and because it is radio was turning 100 years in South Africa last year. So the main thing is compelling content everywhere where you go, either on social media or any other type of media. What keeps it going is compelling content. So if you know the type of content that people want and you are able to bring it, then it makes all of the difference. People will keep on tuning in. But more than that, it's also adaptability, right? Knowing to go with the times. So radio in the 1970s was quite big, but that was when TV was starting to come in, and people thought that radio would die because of TV,
True.
and it didn't, because it adapted to using the same TV personalities on the radio and on TV. So these people that you hear sometimes on the radio would appear also on TV, but also it provided something quite different in that TV needed you to watch. Radio is in the ambience, right? It's you could listen to it passively. With TV, you needed to actively watch, and so for people who are quite busy, radio is the medium that assumes that you're busy. Every other medium wants you to really pay attention, but radio doesn't care for your attention. It just needs you to know that it's playing in the background. If you are wanting to listen, there is something to listen to in the background. And so adapting, now we're in the age of social media, you would find that a lot of radio stations are very good at managing their social media. There's a lot of compelling content that happens on the radio
True.
that then gets put into social media. So a lot of clips from 947 Drive, the show that I produce. There's a lot of clips on 702. There's a lot of clips on many other radio stations that you would find on social media that are doing quite well in itself. So it's adaptability, but more than just adaptability, it's compelling content.
I find that really interesting. I did not think of it that way. The 947 Drive is the one with Anele, or she's the breakfast show.
No, she does breakfast. So
Okay.
Tando Tabete
Okay.
is the host of the.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong as well. Anele is probably the biggest producer, or not producer, excuse me, radio voice in South Africa at the moment, isn't she?
Yes, currently she is.
Intriguing. What did I think you would no, never mind. Never mind. My question here is a massive throwback. And Tiki, what would you say to anybody who is thinking about joining or embarking this journey of radio, who's listening or watching you or will watch you later on? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I would say don't do it. Ngiyadlala. But the biggest thing about it, you need to be someone who's very prompt, someone who's very fast. Um, uh, it's a very competitive field. So if you're not really responsive, if you're not really fast in terms of thinking, in terms of being able to act on things, it's not going to be a great journey for you, because it's highly competitive, right? On my campus days, I think in the last year of my campus days, I really did embark on a journey to make sure that I am noticed and my work is seen by people at different radio stations. So I would write emails to station managers and programming managers at different radio stations. I wrote to Power, I wrote to 947, I wrote to 702, SAFM, Metro, and I got called to come and see what they do at most of these stations. And so if you're a person who's in this space, ask to shadow, or who wants to be in the space, ask to shadow. Come and see what the work is, how you can engage. Because also, radio isn't just only about the presenter. There's a technical producer, people who are involved in the sound engineering and, making sure that the sound of the station is proper, and, they're managing the desk in the radio station. So there's a lot of people involved in the team. There's a content producer, there's a technical producer, there's people who work in digital. So there are people who post on social media as social media managers, or there's a lot of skills that are required. Also, there's sales. There's people at the back of the business who are making sure that the business stays afloat. So don't only think of it as radio only is done by people who speak greatly. You as a salesperson, you as a person who knows how to write content, this could be as a journalist, or this could be as a copywriter, this could be in so many different forms. You also do have a space in radio. Radio is not limited to the people whom we see and hear on the radio every day. There's a lot you can be able to do within the space.
100%. Ntiki, I'm going to ask you something which is going to have to come uh, from the dome right now, as we call it in the hip hop world. I need you to sign out, sending a special invitation for everybody to join us this Saturday for the Career Expo, of which it would be nice if you were there. And if anyone has a question around that, perhaps you could avail yourself in that regard, if obviously you'll be available. But if you could sign out and invite them to be this coming Saturday at the VYG Career Expo with the radio vibe. Give us that radio zhoosh.
Yeah, I know, PJ, I haven't done this in a while.
Come on. It's that show and
Yeah.
tell. This is the part where you show us your skills. You show.
Let me try practice my radio voice. How did I do this? Next week, Saturday on the 25th of April. Please come through at Soweto, Kona Imink and Kokwani Drive. We'll be having a career expo right there. We'll be having quite a lot of people from different careers. If you are not sure what you want to do, or if you actually want, to make sure that what you want to do is actually what you want to do, come through and ask questions. And, there'll be a lot of careers, a lot of people there around. PJ, this one I haven't done in a while. Yeah.
It was flowing. And we know the radio people that like to say, all right, Tiki, thank you so much for your participation. We are going to have to love you and leave you because we've got still Angela who's going to be joining us in a few. We are going to go for a short break, playing the promo of what's going to be happening this Saturday. I am really amped because I know that what is going to happen this Saturday is going to be huge. So we're going to go for a break, and when we come back, we have Angela Kumalo who's going to be joining us. Nsiki, I appreciate your participation. Hope to see you on Saturday at the Career Expo. And somebody is calling me and interrupting me whilst I am having what is this? Is this WhatsApp? Bad time. I don't know how they getting straight up here. Let me put my thing on DND. Sorry, guys. My phone is also connected to the computer here. I switched off all these apps. So I hope to have you with us this coming Saturday. I'm sure that it's going to be inspiring and intriguing, that we may have more people doing great things like you are doing, Nziki. Thank you so much. And we see you next week. We're going to go for a break. And when we come back, we kick off with another career. And we'll be speaking about today's subject. You know what it is? The mood switcher.
Woke up today, smile on my face.
You're still locked in with all the zhoosh, so make sure you don't log out. It's the Vibe O'Clock, brought to you by the VYG. If it ain't gold, it ain't good enough.
Just that I pace, made some mistakes, but learned a few.
my name is Aisha.
My name is Tihu, and we are here at the 2025 Career Expo. As you can see behind me, preparations are taking place. Big companies are here. Career talks will be taking place.
Yes, we have big institutions, big companies here to come and give career guidances to us. And there's opportunities for bursaries, which is an opportunity for you, for me, to further our futures. So, I mean, if you're not here, I don't know what you are doing.
Anyways, let's go network.
The idea of what we are bringing forth today is to open your vision, expand your vision. If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about being the best and getting out of your usual routine. This is different from our routine, and I want to invite you to expand your understanding. Don't only visit the one which interests you.
Okay, so today we are actually opening a class for students.
We've noticed as the banking industry, there's a lot of, how can I say, lack in financial education for the youth. It doesn't get taught in schools. Plus, we are giving information on how to get into the banking industry.
So EY is a professional services company.
Today is mostly about building connections, firstly.
Opportunities in different sectors, your tax, your assurance, your consulting, and even technology resources.
These dogs are trained for different duties. On my left, if you can check, we've got Officer Hlongwane, who with his dog, Truth. That one, it's specialized on narcotics. Yeah, this side with the short one, it's specialized with the explosives.
So these are two products that are under one umbrella called SADC. That's the business that runs them. So Assessa is an assessment platform that we built for teachers. Matric Life is basically a grade 10 to 12 learning platform. The reason why we came here is so that we can inspire them. We are, township boys that made it out of the township, and we started a business.
So far, have you seen anything that intrigues you, something that excites you?
Koi, definitely the department of the Koi, whereby they do their own watches, smart watches, and yeah, that was pretty cool.
I'm from Koi. We run a tech and software company based in Soweto. Immediately, the type of employment that we have here at Koi Tech, it's for software developers, software engineers, somebody who's studying electronics.
My name is Esther.
Esther, how's the gear? How are you feeling? Can you move? Can you walk?
To be honest, I can't move. I can't walk properly because this thing is way too heavy.
What is it that you admire about firefighting?
How they work and how they communicate, and there's unity.
So in a few years, maybe firefighting will be your career path?
Yes, in a few years, it'll be my career. So if you know there's danger, contact the firefighters, I'll be there.
So our objective one is to teach the youth that are here how to prevent fires from happening, and also to say how do they then deal with fires if they happen. So we want to bring them closer to the fire department and to understand the entire organization of the fire department, how it operates, what are the career opportunities if you go into that field.
I am from Denel Technical Academy. Our institution is divided into two pillars now. We have aviation and then we have engineering.
VHA is an HR agency. I'm here to help the youth with their CVs. So a VHA helps with that. We brought the free MBTI career tests so that the youth can take them.
We are here today to give more information to the youth in case they're interested in doing paramedic, how to handle everything, what to do in case of emergencies.
Tabang, tell us about your colorful sneakers. Okay, so he's a warrior.
So this is a customized pair of Air Force Ones. So this shoe came in plain white and I turned it into something like this. So yeah, I customize sneakers, I design sneakers.
So this is your product.
Well, this is Rose product. I'm just the ambassador.
Oh. Okay. DYG's going places.
So I am Adorable Dresses. We design anything elegant and stylish to get you into events in proper style.
Next time, I want to see more of you guys here being an inspiration to others. I finalize this with thanking everyone who was here today. Those who had to go. You saw even the ambulance had to rush out. So they literally took their time to be here. Take a lesson, even if it's one thing. I'm sure there's much more than one thing, but even if it's one thing which you can extract from today, take it, apply it in your life, and make yourself great. All right? If you missed out last year, you don't have to miss out this year. The opportunity will be next week, Saturday, at the grounds, starting from 10 a.m. And if you think last year's one was good or amazing, you don't know what to expect this year. We're going to be having a huge number of schools and learners coming and joining us, but probably double the number of companies. This year, it's about to get real. It's about to get real. And I will probably tell you this week a bit more about who will be joining us. If you saw on our platforms, we had the spokesperson from JMPD. We had Director Sinok from the EMS, the Johannesburg EMS. And we had an amazing meetup with these gentlemen who seem really intrigued. And probably we're going to have many more units involved. We have a lot. I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm just going to say this to you. If you miss this VYG Expo here, you are going to miss out. And I repeat, I am hoping and I am praying that across Mzansi, it will be on the same level or even better. We don't mind if it's better, but we want it to be at least worst case scenario, it needs to be on the same level as we are doing here because we're here to inspire and we are going for gold. Talking about going for gold, we're going to be addressing another guest who apparently has been going for gold. I don't know the story in depth, and Tsigelelo I know, but I am going to be addressing Angela. Angela is connected with us. I'm putting her on screen as of now. Angela, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Sorry to keep you waiting. Usually we do the ladies first, but today we'll say, I won't say save the best for last because there's no competition in that sense. But maybe the story or there's something which we are saving for last here, which you're going to be sharing with us. Tell us, Angela, what are you going to be sharing with us today?
Nothing much, but I'm definitely going to be sharing who I am and the work that I do, my career, where it started and where it's going, I hope. But yeah.
Tell us about the career. I've received from our producer a lot of photos from you, about a bunch of pictures, and I am intrigued in what exactly you are doing that has intrigued me.
So basically, I do a lot of things, but I am a geospatial analyst. slash geographer in simple terms for most people who don't know what a geospatial analyst is. I'm also a policy advocate, specifically in climate, and I am also someone who teaches Model UN.
You teach what?
Model United Nations. So basically,
Okay,
I
okay.
teach people how to be engaged with international affairs through Model United Nations processes like debating, and also how to be engaged with the United Nations as a whole.
Okay, I see here. I'm playing some, well, I'm showing, I'm displaying on screen here some of the pictures, but I have more of which I'm going to stop because I want us to take it one step at a time. Where's the foundation? Where does it start? Talk to us.
Yeah, basically, I studied a social science degree because I wanted the exposure of what is happening in current affairs, and I've also been interested in geography, mainly looking at environmental change. So I studied geography as a major, which then led me into the world of geospatial sciences. And then from there on, I studied to be a geospatial analyst, which I am currently a practicing one. And what that basically is that I collect, manage, and interpret socioeconomic and environmental data to geographic data, essentially. But yeah, within that period of me studying to be a geospatial analyst, I did a lot of policy engagement. I was always the one kid who was always in decision making processes where governments are discussing anything related to current policy and current affairs. So I've always wanted to put my voice out there. And most of the time they always say that they're left out in most of these spaces. So I was always that one person who always wanted to be there, which then led me to being a climate policy advocate, who is practicing as a advisor to the Embassy of Sweden in South Africa. So I advise the Embassy of Sweden on their processes, mainly looking at climate change and sustainability policies in South Africa. And a lot of the times I basically just like discuss their policies, how are they benefiting South Africa. We are trying to strengthen the relationship between Sweden and South Africa in terms of providing opportunities for South African youth in Sweden. But also outside of that, I'm the head of the Sustainability and Climate Change Department at the African Minds for Applied Research Institute, where I basically head the department in their research on climate change and sustainability initiatives, and how that basically aligns with what I do as a geospatial analyst is that I bring a data driven approach to the kind of research that we do to say, for example, we know that there's climate change, but how do we actually make that factual? So then I do my analysis and then I provide all the facts, all the graphs, all the interpretations in the research that they are doing. Yeah,
Wow.
that is me and the work that I do.
What did you study? Because if you're also an advocate, I'm assuming you're going to have to know the laws of it. So take us through each step.
Okay, so I studied a social science degree in geography and development studies. Um, and then basically I then got to know all environmental processes, plans, and policies from there on, but also outside of education, because I'd like to assume that a lot of the things that I've learned I have taught myself. Yes, there are things that I have been taught in university in terms of policies, in terms of environmental impact assessments and all that in geography and environmental science modules, but in terms of implementation and practicality, I learned that while working and while joining in processes that were happening at government, wherever I am with the embassy and all that. So I think, let me say, I read.
Okay. Okay. Please, guys, take note. She read. Read. Not scrolling. Read. Maybe the reading could have involved some scrolling, but you know the what you call it, the doom scrolling, the one where you just endlessly scroll until the algorithm shows you the reels which are going to make you laugh and all of that. Just pay close attention to that. She read. And I like the aspect where you said that you
learned on your own, the self-taught aspect of things, which goes to show that many people come up with a lot of excuses, a lot of reasons as to why we can't do this, why I can't do that, because I can't afford this, I can't afford that. But in the case of Angela, not saying that that was the case, but the fact is you didn't wait for the opportunity to come. You went there to chase it. What subjects were you doing at school? Let's go back a little bit.
Okay, so in high school, I did mathematics and sciences. So I did life sciences, physics, geography, and mathematics. And then I also had history as an eighth subject. That was me in high school. And then getting to university, I always knew that I wanted to study something within geography because for some odd reason, that was like my most loved subject.
Okay.
Yeah, so then did not want something that is going to confine me to only studying within sciences. So I had the option of choosing purely a Bachelor of Science degree, doing geography, geology, mathematics, all those sciencey things. So I opted for a social science degree that gives me a liberal arts kind of approach. And then I did geography, development studies. I also did have environmental anthropology and international relations here and there. What else? And then I also did have kind of aspects to mathematics subject that was undergrad, and then in honors I did my honors in geography where I specialized in geographic information systems and remote sensing, which is now getting me into the aspect of being a geospatial analyst, because then by then I had learned how to program, how to use the knowledge that I have in sciences for the greater good of the environment. Yeah, and then for masters, which I'm completing this year, I'm doing my masters in geospatial sciences, geographic information systems, and remote sensing.
Wow. I am taken. I am taken. I have quite a lot of questions, and unfortunately time isn't playing on my team today, but I am really intrigued. My question is, do you travel a lot?
Yeah.
Where do you usually go, or where have you been?
So I've been to quite a number of places in South Africa. A lot of times because I've been in junior roles, so most of the time the only people that do travel internationally would be my managers and all that. But I have been to quite a number of places in South Africa, including New Stellenbosch, Mpumalanga, wherever. But I am scheduled to go to Bonn for the Bonn Climate Camp this June in Germany. Yes.
Mm, 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 mm. Levels, 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 levels. I find it intriguing because a lot of people make a big fuss about traveling overseas, but sometimes they don't know much about the beauty South Africa itself carries. If you look at places, I often like to watch videos of Mpumalanga, the Drakensberg, and you go down Western Cape, Knysna, and all these amazing places South Africa has. It's amazing how oftentimes we take for granted the beauty our own country has. Everywhere in South Africa, there's some sort of beauty. You can go anywhere, anywhere, anywhere. Limpopo also has some really beautiful places everywhere. Joburg is the concrete jungle, but if you just go a little bit outside of away from the concrete, you do find some sort of beauty to it. At the end of the day, it is Egoli. So, Angela, what would you say to someone who would like to follow through with a similar career path and right now might be demotivated or thinking, am I capable of this and that? What would be your words to each and every one of them right now?
I think it goes with passion. Be sure that this is something that you want to study, this is something that you want to do. And then from there on, you will know that you won't stop at anything to get to where you want to be. So, a lot of the times, people study things that they do not enjoy. You must enjoy doing something. You must picture yourself doing a specific kind of job and say, I'm going to enjoy myself doing this. So then that pushes you to do it. But regardless of that, I think we must all be motivated. Be motivated to be the next big thing in South Africa. Then you will get there.
Amazing. Amazing. I have a question though. It's going to be a very random question. Well, it's going to seem random, but the comment section will know why. Do you have a 2-liter bottle?
Do I have a 2-liter bottle?
Yes, or a bottle of water by you?
Yes, I do.
Is it next to you?
Yes, it's actually here.
Can you please raise it? Can you raise it? Wow, this
There it is.
comment is so accurate because Kerabetswe says it's always glasses, natural hair, and a 2-liter bottle. There we go. There we go.
Wow.
No, I love it. I love it. I love Kerabetswe. This is the comment of the year for me. This is like
That was very accurate.
the accuracy. Is there something that you very intelligent people that you very intelligent people have in common? The glasses. Well, I got my glasses here, but I always want to not act like a nerd, so I don't wear my glasses and I put my contacts. And my bottle is not a 2-liter, it's a 750. So I'm halfway there, guys. I'm halfway there. Natural hair.
You're halfway there.
Oh wow, Angela, I really appreciate your efforts of being here with us. Really appreciate everything which you shared. I think just by the pictures, you didn't even need to speak much. Just by the pictures, they were truly inspiring. I loved the one here of the embassy. I loved it, and the one where you're holding this device, which none of us have an idea what it does. I just see here location, okay, and then I see elevation. Yeah, that's all I understand. I like, but I really loved this one of the embassy of Sweden. This is awesome. When are you going to Sweden to raise the VYG flag in Sweden?
I will be going in October, November. There's a democracy conference happening. So we had to split ourselves as advisors. So some went last year. I'm going this year.
Interesting. That deserves another VBO flag. That's what's up. Angela, please keep inspiring the VYG fam wherever you are. Which are you in Pretoria? Are you from Pretoria?
No, I'm from Vanderbilt Park.
Vanderbilt Park. My apologies. The Vanderbilt fam, you've got someone there to really inspire you guys. Please follow the example. Follow this amazing example which we have here from Angela. Angela, I really appreciate your participation. I'm assuming that you will be at the Career Expo next week that side of Vanderbilt. If not, then you are more than welcome to come and join us at the grounds. The doors are wide open, why the gates are wide open for you to come and join us for our Career Expo here in Joburg. If not, I do also believe that the Vanderbilt fam will not disappoint with the Career Expo there next week. So fam, this is it. This is one more story we had in Tsigelelo. I think we overdid it today because we just had no, this was just too much. This was just amazing. Fam, we are going to go for one more break, and when we come back, we are going to kick in with today's subject for the day, which I believe will have a lot to do with what we have to speak about career, but also with regards to your personality. Angela, thank you so much for your participation. We hope to see you soon and keep inspiring us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Woke up today, smile on my face.
You're still locked in with all the zhuzh, so make sure you don't log out. It's the Vibe O'Clock, brought to you by the VYG. If it ain't gold, it ain't good enough.
Just that I pace, made some mistakes, but learned a few.
Hi, please introduce yourself and tell us what you do for a living.
I'm Chef Jonathan. I am a culinary lecturer.
I am Chef Mandy Singh. I am currently a lecturer at Capsicum Culinary Studio Rensig. I am also the owner of Culinary Crafters by Mandy
So,
Singh.
what did you study, and are there any particular subjects that you had to do in high school to get where you are?
I studied a 3-year diploma in culinary arts, as well as a 1-year advanced diploma in pastry. And no, there's nothing from high school that needed to be done for me to be a chef.
If someone wants to do what you do, where do they need to start?
You start by checking all your produce in the fridge. So you can start by enrolling in Capsicum Culinary Studio, where you will get one of the best educations in terms of culinary arts as well as patisserie.
And last question, why should they make sure that they don't miss the VYG Career Expo on the 25th of April?
Because you won't get the sauce
To flavor your future. Ching-a-ling-ling, see you guys there.
Is it only a dream? Is it only a dream?
I'm loving the track of the VYG Career Expo for 2026. I am looking forward for next week. I really know that this is going to be beautiful. I want to do something here today. Hold up. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. Hold up. Let me just add it here. I want it to be here at least for today's program. And this week we'll be going live. There'll be lots of videos. All of our work will be dedicated to the Career Expo. There we go. So just wanted to add this here. No, where's it? Here. So it looks weird on my side because my camera is reversed. So anyways, fam, I am sure that you have vision, willingness, desire for something which you want to achieve in your life. But here's where many find themselves in problems. And this is exactly what I want to talk about. When we look at this mood switch, this mood switch, let me just make some changes here because I want us to focus. I want us to focus on what really matters here right now. I don't even want us to be worried about the other stuff, but specifically the mood switch. Hold up. There we go. From the left, you see somebody who's really mad. Towards the right, where everything changes. In our lives, we go through this quite often. You're not happy all the time. You're not indifferent all the time. You're not excited all the time. None of us. Our moods may switch at any given moment. And we have the expression where the person's got mood swings, where one time the mood is like this, the other time the mood is like that. And the problem is not what happens to our moods, because we don't have control over our moods. But we do have control over our actions and what those moods will actually do to us at that given moment. And unfortunately, sometimes our mood tells us to do one thing, whereby we know that what we have to do is the very opposite. Sometimes your mood says, usually the mood will be like, you don't have to study. Why are you going to waste your time studying? Come on, enjoy a little, live a little, come on. So at that moment, you're not in the mood to study, which is fair enough. But the problem is when you listen to what your mood tells you. The problem is when you allow your mood or what you are feeling to speak louder than what you need to do or louder than what you need to know. I think one of the greatest opportunities people miss out on is when they listen to their feelings, when their anger speaks louder than this, when their sadness or their emotions speak louder than that. And I repeat, there are moments which all of us go through this exact thing that's being shown to us. There are moments where we're on the red or the orange or the yellow or the light green and then the darker green. We all have that in our lives. What we are going to do with that can make or break in life, can define who we are. Moments in which we are angry, moments in which we are upset. And sometimes it's not necessarily a mood, but it is what we're going through at that phase. Perhaps you're going through days where you're only on that red zone. You're right there on that red zone every moment. Right there, right there, right there. Every day you're on this red zone because you lost a person who means a lot to you. Somebody really made you mad. Somebody said something which was very, very inconvenient, very unprofitable, or something unpleasant happened in your life. And you find yourself in a scenario in which you're only on the red. But my question to you is, what are you doing with that? Why are you allowing your mood to speak louder than your knowledge, your wisdom? And this is the reason why many people miss out on opportunities. Great opportunities come to them because their moods permit them, or rather they permit their moods to take charge. I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm really mad right now. And I allow my words or my actions to give back that anger. You can't change your anger. If you're angry, you're angry. There's nothing you can do when you're angry. But there is something you can avoid doing. It's avoid listening to the voice of your anger. It's listening to the voice of your revolt or whatever is taking you out of your green zone, if I could say, at that moment. Do not allow your moods to change. There are people who are really unpleasant because their moods switch from right to left all the time. And the worst is not the mood switch, because nobody knows your mood, but your actions do speak on behalf of your mood. I want you to think about it. Have your moods, or has a specific mood in your life permitted or impeded you from obtaining or achieving certain things in your life? Certain accomplishments, certain opportunities, certain scenarios in your life, because I think all of us can speak about moments in which we are stacked with regrets because we said something or we did not do something because of our moods, because of our feelings. Be careful with that meter. And don't only be careful with the meter when it's red, but also be careful with it when you're too excited. Be careful when you make promises that you don't fulfill because you were too excited. Be careful when you do things because you're too excited and you realize that all you wanted to do was please everybody, and you ended up, excuse my expression, but you ended up making a fool out of yourself because of that. Learn to never allow your moods to speak for you. If you're going through something, this is where the VYG fam comes in. We're here to help you. We're here to assist you. This is why we have mentors. We have people. And I should say, I need to say, and I hope your guys' mood of the comment section, I hope that your mood is paying attention right now to what I'm saying. Because if you are someone who could be possibly helping someone, but your moods speak too loud, you might be impeding people's lives to change. You might be even putting people off. You know, people want to be close to you, wanted to, but because of your moods, people would rather be far from you. If you're a mentor, for example, imagine me. Imagine if I allow my moods to speak loud. The moments I'm angry, I'll never give you guys the attention you need. I'll never give you the best. The moments I'm down, because I also have my days, fam. You might see PJ as a jolly person. I am naturally high off of life, but I do have my days. I have had moments where I came here and I sat here before you guys and my mood was probably lower than that red zone there, but I had to soldier on. Do you know why? Because my mood will have an effect which will not just destroy me, but destroy others who depend on me, who count on me, who would wish for me to be here giving words of motivation. I'm just demotivating you guys. Perhaps you're the kind of person when you arrive, the mood changes. People aren't excited when they see you. As a matter of fact, people are demotivated when you're around because you're always angry or you're always negative. You're always the kind of person who vomits what's inside of you. I'm here to say to you that you've got what it takes to do better. And the beginning of that is by not allowing yourself to be led by your moods. If you heard Angela saying that she read, How many of you know that you have to read, but you don't read because guess what? You're too focused on your mood. You're too focused on everything but the most important, doing what you gotta do. So I'm here to say to you, stop allowing the mood switch to control your life, to decide where you're going next, to decide what steps you're going to take next. When a person is working, it's not the fact that they don't want to wake up that makes them to get up, because nevertheless, most people don't want to get up. They just want to rest. All of us have that day where we're like, oh, I'm not in the mood for school or for work today, but you still go. You still go because you know that at the end of the day, you got to get paid. You got to do this. You got to do that. Your boss tells you off. Your boss annoys you and says to you things you don't want to hear. You don't listen to your anger, your mood, which says, oh, tell this man off. But you don't. You swallow that. You swallow your pride. You swallow your mood because you know that you don't want to get fired. Why is it that for other things in our lives, we listen to our moods? That's what I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope today's VBO was intriguing, interesting, and important to all of you, and I hope that it's going to bring a life change to each and every one of you. Next week, Saturday, is going to be history in the making for the VYG. I believe what we are going to experience in next week's VYG Career Expo is going to be a life transformation for everybody who's going to be with us. I'd love you guys to be with us wherever you are. Come and join us if you can. I know that some provinces will be having it next week, the following week. I know of a few. But if you want to come and join us here as well, do come. Wherever you are in Mzansi, I promise you, you're not going to want to miss this one out. The team is working, and I'm so proud of the team that's helping us behind the scenes, the preparation team, the event squad. A huge shout out to each and every one of you guys for everything you guys have done. Bringing more stress sometimes, but good stress. Not the stress that puts my mood down, but the stress that motivates me to go more, to go harder, knowing that you guys, we're going to make history in the VYG. And I can't wait for it, because this year is the year where we go for gold. And if you want to go for gold, your moods cannot be the deciding factor of your life. Got it? I'm pretty sure you did, because if it ain't gold, it ain't good enough. And tomorrow we're going to be having the VYG hangout all across Mzansi. Come and join us wherever you are, north, east, west, or south of Mzansi. There will be a VYG fam happy to receive you. Even if they're not in the best of moods, they will receive you with arms wide open and with a smile, genuine smile, to let you know that you're not alone. All right, fam? Please take care of yourselves. That's it from myself. And I hope to see you guys Saturday at the VYG Career Expo. We are out of here. Take care of yourself, because if it ain't gold, it ain't good enough.
Woke up today, smile on my face. May not go my way, still got my faith, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay, I'll be okay. Running our race, just at our pace. Made some mistakes, but learned a few things, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay, I'll be okay. Yeah, I've been through it all. Looking at Goliath at the stand tall. My heart, it feel like David every time I fall. My problems look like giants, I'ma slay them all. Every single beef, I had to let it be. Spend a lot of time wasting energy that ain't made sense to me logically, but I feel way better when I walk in peace. Please don't bring the gossip to me. I mean, no offense, I'm finding out jealousy only a lack of confidence. Focused on me more, focused on you less. Everybody do that, look around and we blessed. Woke up today, smile on my face. May not go my way, still got my faith, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay, I'll be okay. Running our race, just at our pace. Made some mistakes, but learned a few things, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay, I'll be okay, yeah. I know the pain you felt, I felt it with you. I know the hate you feel is scar tissue. Unhealed trauma is trying to kill you. We'll come back to love, man, we all miss you. Hey, life is like a seesaw, it's up, then it's down. It's all about progress, you can't stop now. Take a step every day, look back and see miles. Could make it to the top if you stop looking at the ground.
Welcome today, smile on my face. May not go my way, still got my faith, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay, I'll be okay. Running our race, just at our pace. Made some mistakes, but learned a few things, so I'll be okay.